Last week, I was offered a job and I accepted it. The dream was always to build something for myself. A creative business, a page, a body of work, something that could eventually sustain itself financially. But after a year of putting everything into it, as you know from last week's video, the pressure was a lot. And what I realized after a while was that it was hurting my creativity. It was hurting how I was looking at the page, how I was making my videos, writing my scripts, everything. I was so desperate to make money from this venture, this project. And I started resenting the fact that it wasn't. I was basically watching this page grow, but then feeling like a failure because I wasn't making any money, bringing in any work or anything. So I kind of went back to the drawing board and I made a decision and I started applying for jobs. And last week, after a few interviews, I finally got one and I'm so grateful. And I think it might be the best creative decision I've made, because what it does is it takes the pressure off the videos, it takes the pressure off the page, and it means that I can keep building this without thinking, oh, it needs to bring in sponsors or it needs to bring in money. It removes the financial aspect from the page and just keeps it as something creative. Obviously, I still hope that it'll keep growing, that one day it'll open up some interesting doors and some opportunities. Right now, I think this is the best decision, and the role that I accepted also fits perfectly with what I'm doing, and it doesn't take away from what I'm doing, and it'll just work perfectly side by side, that I can keep doing this, keep making videos on the weekends. I'm very grateful for that. I was watching a lot of videos about people saying, what would you do if you had to start from scratch on YouTube? There's a lot of successful YouTubers being asked this question, and one answer that really stood out for me was from Colin and Samir, and they just said straight up they would get a job. They would take away that financial pressure and they'll keep building it over time, because it takes a lot of time. And so that's what I'm doing. That's the plan going forward. I'm very excited. So since my last video, a lot has continued to happen on my page. In the last video, I was on 61k followers. And since then, I'm now on 68.5, slowly ticking towards 70, which is mind blowing. I shared 2 photographer reels in that time, one on Chris Killip and another on Vanley Burke, and both of those did really well. But the thing that always makes me the happiest, beyond the views and everything, is when people watching the video get led to the photographer's Instagram and there's an influx of followers there and more people find their work and more people visit their website. That honestly makes me so happy every single time. And to be honest, that has become the whole point of the series. Beyond me learning about these photographers and trying to get better myself through looking at their work, putting people on to these people's photos and incredible stuff that they did, and then hopefully that leading to them buying a book or buying a print, that's become the goal of these videos, and I love it. And I want to work more with photographers to tell their stories, to get them in front of a bigger audience. But something that I keep coming back to as I continue building this page, as I get into this routine of making videos, is that right now 99% of people follow me because I make these videos about photographers, and that's fine. I'm trying to figure out how to bring more of my personality into it, how to bring a bit more of my story, just because I think that'll make the videos better. If people know who I am, if they can connect with my journey up to the point of me starting these videos and what I'm learning every week and what I'm trying to work on, I think that'll just improve the whole experience of the page. As you can see, I'm still figuring it out. Something else that I've absolutely loved the last 2 weeks is the Winter Olympics. To start with, I was struggling to get into it, but then just like with every Olympics, it's the stories that get me. Once you learn about 1 or 2 athletes and you get an insight into who they are and they've been doing the last 4 years to get to this point to try and win a medal, getting invested in that story gets me every time. There's nothing like watching someone steal a gold in the last second, or when you see someone narrowly miss out, or there's just so many incredible stories, and that naturally led me to find photographers that are covering the Winter Olympics. And that's where I found this. This is one of the best photos from this year's Winter Olympics, and it was shot by one of the best sports photographers working today. Meet Elsa Garrison. I first came across Elsa's work last year when I was going down a rabbit hole of sports photographers, and her work completely blew me away. So when I saw that Elsa was one of the photographers covering the Olympics this year, I knew we were going to be in for some incredible photos. From ice skating to speed skating to hockey. This is one of those photos that will be etched in history for future Olympics to come. And it's why you need to celebrate photographers like Elsa. There's no AI in this. This is just someone at the peak of her craft, using her talents to tell a story. And this one shot just sums up the Olympics. It sums up the blood, sweat, tears that goes into getting a medal and winning at the Olympics. She has so many other incredible photos, and I would really recommend you going and checking out her Instagram. Go through her page, keep an eye out for what she's covering in the future. I've seen her work get shared a lot over the last couple of weeks, often by people not giving credit, so let this be the video to say, go follow Elsa Garrison. I'm very excited to see what she does in the future. As I was looking at all these photos, I just kept thinking, like, this is the dream. Like, I would absolutely love to get access to an event like this one day, to go in there, to capture stories like this with my camera. Even if I just go and carry Elsa's bags or another photographer's water bottle, I would love to just follow along and learn from them and just see what goes into capturing these moments, because they happen in a split second. It is so hard to comprehend what goes into making these incredible photos. But it definitely got me thinking that with my photographer series, that's definitely something it can evolve into, by meeting real photographers, by interviewing them, following them for a day as they shoot a sports event or a concert or around their studio, all just with the goal to bring attention to these incredible photographers and to celebrate real human creativity. Yeah, I don't know when this will happen or how, but I'm just putting it out there. If there's anyone watching who would like to invite me along to just film a mini documentary of them shooting an event or in their studio with a little interview, please let me know. So on a craft side of things, I've been experimenting a lot with color grading, and anyone who knows me will know that I love color grading. I'm always trying to find the best way to grade my footage. And in the past year, I've tried loads of different things. I've definitely messed up my colors on a few different occasions, but recently I found this plugin, which I'm not sponsored to say this, I just found it and I think it's useful because I wish I heard about this earlier. It's called Filmbox, and it's by a company called Video Village, I think. And it's a plugin for DaVinci Resolve. I think you can get it on Premiere Pro as well. But you can get tons of different film looks through this plugin. I was on a trial for a little bit, and now I need to figure out how I can afford to buy this. I think there's a license where you can either pay for it for 3 months, or you can buy it for $1,000 forever, and you just have the license forever, which I love it when companies do that. I need this in my arsenal. I also put together a carousel recently of some film photos from South Africa. It was all around a little series of life by the water. I was looking through my photos last week, and I just started noticing this theme of being by the water, whether it was by the sea, the dam, the rivers. Most of our time there was spent next to water. So that's where I'm at in my photography. I think one day I would love to make a photo book, but I'm very far off doing that. I still have a lot to learn and a lot to get better at. Yeah, it takes a long time to get better at photography, to get good at photography, and you just have to keep going. Anyway, the new job will start soon, hopefully, depending on all the contracts and whatnot, but the pressure is off for the first time in a while. Just so excited about making things without the need for them to be anything other than good and creative. Let's see what happens. If you want to follow along on Instagram, then please do go follow From the Lodge. Every week I'm sharing photographer reels, people inspiring me, telling their stories, as well as my own photos. If you're new here on YouTube, then please subscribe. Hopefully you learned something from these videos. You can join me as I figure this out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.